there is a piece of oak wood. Starting from the top down, top up here you see the accessory tray, which has the hammer, the wooden hammer mallet that's used to knock in the taper of the tailstock, which secures the tailstock to your ways of your bed. Then of course you have your turning tools, and I have a couple of keyless chucks, a keyless chuck and a keyed chuck. The headstock, I used a half 20 threads so that I can put a keyless chuck on or keyed, and also the tailstock the same configuration. You can still go back and put you on a wooden chuck and turn it to whatever configuration and secure your means that way. There's a lot of accessories that you can put onto this unit. This lathe is not historically accurate. I use Roy Underhill's design to build my own and just kind of go with it from what he has. I just wanted a functioning treadle lathe. So you can see the bearings that were used here to house a 1/2 inch shaft. Then you can see there with the black electrical tape around that housing there is a thrust bearing that Roy discussed in there. The tailstock, I left it long. I made it a drilling tailstock. I don't think you really need that. I'll probably will reconfigure that at some point in the future. But for right now, I have over 5 inches of drilling length there. I adapted a Chinese live center. Just kind of quick, easy, and inexpensive. Just trying to get the tool up and running and use it. I use yellow pine for the build of the machine, and I used a 1 3/4 pulley here on the drive shaft there. You can see it's keyed. When building the unit, I started with the wheel and built out from the wheel. The wheel's a 3-layer sandwiched 2x12s, as you can see there. And you can see there's a groove cut for tracking the belt in. You also can see there's a counterweight on the side of the wheel. That's to keep the wheel balanced because of the weight of your treadle here. Without that, it's real hard to turn. Also, you notice I just used a lawn and garden belt. I didn't really want to mess with the ropes and tying knots and having to constantly have to adjust tension. Put it on there and it'll last many years being in a climate controlled shop. And of course I can get to it and replace it if need to be. Another shot of the wheel. We're going to look down the hubs. We can get down in there and get a decent shot of it. There you go. They're just homemade hubs I used. Keyed one side of the hub. You can see the Browning pillar blocks. There's 2 of them. You could use Chinese and save a whole lot of money for application like this if you have to buy new. Of course, it's great if you can get them used somewhere. I also decided to add a bench to it all, to the back top here for the space that the unit's taking up, the floor space. So makes it a little bit more versatile. Tool support, pretty simple. It's in Roy's book. Thread it. Easy, quick to adjust in and out, left, right. Tailstock secured with the tapered wooden drift. Quick and very tight, very secure. This unit weighs 260 pounds total. So I have casters. I have 6 casters. And to keep it from moving around when I'm using it, you can see I've just slid 2 2x4s. One on the front, one under the back, and it doesn't want to walk all over the place with you. But yet it's easy to get those 2x4s out and move the unit for storage and wherever you want to use it. If you build one of these, here's a hint: the belt's really loose. It's not a tight setup. This is not anywhere near as tight as you would make a belt for a machine. I mean, a motor-driven electric motor. So in combination with a really slack belt, and then you have this idler pulley here to give you some tension to help give you some grip around this pulley right here. It's the combination of those two things that helps keep the friction down so that it's easy enough to move the treadle. Otherwise, if you set this up more in a traditional manner with an electric motor, you're going to find that the treadle just doesn't want to, it's just too hard to operate. So that's a real simple but easily overlooked assembly that may give somebody inexperienced building one of these a little trouble. The other thing is, Roy covers it really well in his book about this cross member here. You need to follow his guide on that if you want to have it to be rigid, and the cantilever structure is very important to that. Otherwise, the far right hand corner is going to want to dip down, because naturally it's only supported over here on the far left. So if you'll follow the cantilever build there that Roy describes in his books, and then you'll be all right. I've enjoyed building this unit. It's been a real treat and a pleasure to build it, and I really love using it. Thanks for viewing.